Welcome back, everybody. We're doing a deep dive today on Medtronic's FY24 shareholder letter. Um, you know, Financial reports don't always sound that interesting, but this one is really different. It's really a glimpse into the future of healthcare.
Yeah, it really is, and especially interesting because Medtronic's celebrating their 75th anniversary. So this letter is more than just, the numbers. It's really about their long history of innovation. They've been around for so long, and they're really using all of that to address the big healthcare problems that we have today.
75 years. Wow. That is a legacy. And speaking of legacy, they're the ones behind the first battery-powered pacemaker back in 1957. It's just amazing how far things have come.
Yeah, and now they're leading the way with leadless pacing. It's crazy how tiny and advanced these devices are now. But they're not a one-trick pony. It's not just pacemakers. They're innovating across all their different areas. Like pulsed field ablation, that's a really cool one. It's changing how we treat certain diseases by using these really precise electrical pulses, and it's a lot less invasive than the old ways of doing things.
It's like science fiction coming to life, right?
Yeah.
And speaking of challenges, one of the biggest ones we're facing in healthcare is the shortage of healthcare workers. It's a problem everywhere, and it's tough for both hospitals and patients.
You're absolutely right. Medtronic actually sees technology as the answer to that problem.
Yeah.
By using technology, we can make healthcare more accessible and efficient. And that could really help, especially in areas where there just aren't enough doctors and nurses.
They have a really powerful story about this. In the letter, they describe this really busy hospital in India, just packed with patients and struggling with limited resources. And it's something that anyone who's ever been to a hospital can relate to.
Yeah, and then they contrast that with a different floor in the same hospital, where they have these young clinicians using Medtronic's AI-powered GI Genius system to do colon cancer screenings. And the amazing thing is they're getting results that are as good as the top GI specialists.
That's incredible. So even with limited experience, these clinicians, with the help of AI, can spot those tiny polyps. That could be cancerous. That's really early detection, which is key.
Exactly. It's a great example of how technology can make healthcare more equal, bringing really high-quality diagnostics to places that really need it.
So Medtronic is moving beyond just making individual devices. Now they're creating whole ecosystems of care. What does that actually look like in practice?
Well, it's kind of like a holistic approach. Like in spine care, they're integrating implants and biologics and robotics and navigation technology and AI, all to get the best results for each individual patient.
It sounds like they're leaving no stone unturned. Are they doing the same thing in other areas as well?
Oh, absolutely. They're doing some amazing work in diabetes care, too. They have a whole range of treatment options that are changing how we manage intensive insulin therapy, which lets people take control of their health and live fuller lives.
So we've got innovation, we've got these comprehensive care solutions, and what about partnerships? It seems like they're doing things differently there as well.
Yeah, they are. What's exciting is that they're willing to partner with all kinds of organizations, even their competitors. They understand that to deal with the growing need for healthcare, everyone needs to work together. It's not about who has the biggest market share. It's about finding solutions that work.
That's refreshing to hear. Do they give any specific examples of these collaborations?
Yeah, for sure. Like they've partnered with NVIDIA and Cosmo Pharmaceuticals to put cutting-edge AI into the GI Genius platform. They've even opened it up so startups can develop their own applications.
Wow, so they're fostering this environment where innovation can just keep growing.
Exactly. And that's a brilliant strategy for making progress faster and ultimately helping patients everywhere.
So we've talked about their history, their innovation, their partnerships. What about their money? How did they do in FY24?
Well, their numbers look pretty good. They brought in $32.4 billion in revenue, which is pretty substantial. And they had 5.2% organic revenue growth, which means their core businesses are doing well.
That's impressive. And are they investing in the future? Are they putting their money where their mouth is when it comes to innovation?
Definitely, they've increased their spending on R&D, which shows they're serious about creating new technologies and solutions. They're not just sitting back and relaxing. They're looking ahead.
That's a good sign. And what about the people who have invested in the company? How are the shareholders doing?
They've done well, too. Medtronic gave back $5.5 billion to shareholders through dividends and share repurchases. So they're sharing the wealth and showing that they care about their investors.
So they're doing great financially. They're committed to innovation, and they're focused on shareholder value.
Yeah, they're hitting all the right marks. They've got a solid track record and a clear plan for the future. It's obvious they're not just thinking about the short term, they're in it for the long haul.
It's really interesting how their financial success connects back to their commitment to innovation and global healthcare. It's like a cycle. Their strong financial position lets them invest in new technologies, which leads to better health care for everyone. And then that could lead to even more financial success.
You got it. It's all connected.
All right, let's take a quick break here, and we'll come back and continue our deep dive into Medtronic's FY24 shareholder letter. We're back and ready to keep digging into Medtronic's FY24 shareholder letter. It's amazing how they're bringing together all this stuff about innovation and technology and making a real difference in the world.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive how they've moved beyond just being a medical device company. They're really becoming a major player in healthcare technology. They're building these complete care ecosystems that really put the patient first.
And that story about the hospital in India really brought it home for me. It shows how their technology can really bridge those gaps in healthcare.
Yeah.
Providing access to quality care no matter where you are or what resources you have.
Exactly. It's all about making healthcare more equal for everyone, so that everyone has a chance to live a healthier life.
I also think it's great that they're addressing the elephant in the room, that healthcare worker shortage. They're not just saying, oh yeah, there's a problem. They're actually trying to find solutions.
Yeah, and their commitment to finding solutions is clear from how much they're investing in R&D. They're definitely dedicated to innovation and exploring new ways to deliver healthcare.
And their willingness to partner with anyone, even their competitors, shows that they really want to solve these problems on a global scale.
Absolutely. It's a real shift from that old way of thinking where everyone was just trying to beat each other. Now it's more about working together because healthcare is so complex that we need everyone's expertise and resources.
Okay, so we've talked about the big picture, their vision for the future, but how does all of this affect the average person? Why should someone listening to this care about what Medtronic is doing?
That's a great question. I think it's important to remember that Medtronic's innovations are actually making a difference in people's lives right now. Their devices and therapies are helping people manage chronic conditions, recover from injuries, and live longer, healthier lives.
So it's not just about some abstract future of healthcare. It's about making a real difference in people's lives today.
Exactly. Think about it. If you or someone you know has heart problems or diabetes or chronic pain, there's a good chance that Medtronic's technology is helping them.
That's a really powerful thought. And as they continue to innovate, their impact is only going to grow.
Oh, definitely. We're on the cusp of some really exciting breakthroughs like AI-powered diagnostics, personalized medicine, and remote patient monitoring. These are going to be game changers.
It's almost like Medtronic is becoming the Apple of healthcare. They're creating this seamless ecosystem of products and services. But with companies like Apple, there's always that worry that they'll become too closed off and limit people's choices. Could we see that happening here? Could this focus on their own technology make it harder for patients to use devices from other companies?
That's a really interesting point. It's definitely something we need to keep an eye on as these technologies develop. The key is going to be open standards and making sure that systems can work together so that patients have choices and aren't stuck with just one company's products.
That makes sense. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the future. So we've talked about their history, their innovation, their partnerships, and their commitment to global health.
And we've touched on how their work is having a real impact on patients around the world.
But there's one more thing we need to look at, and that's their financial performance. Because a company can have the best ideas in the world, but if they're not financially stable, they can't make those ideas a reality.
Absolutely, you're right. A strong financial foundation is essential for any company, especially in a field like healthcare that's changing so rapidly.
So let's take a closer look at their financials and see how they're set up for the future. Okay, so let's dive into those financials. We mentioned some highlights earlier, but let's take a closer look.
Yeah, it's good to really understand the numbers, especially when we're talking about a company with such big goals.
So what are the key takeaways from their FY24 performance?
Well, first of all, their revenue was $32.4 billion, which is a lot of money. And more importantly, their organic revenue growth was 5.2%, which means that their existing businesses are doing really well.
That's really impressive. Are they investing enough in innovation? Are they putting their money where their mouth is?
Oh, yeah, definitely their R&D investment has gone up, which shows that they're serious about developing new technologies and solutions. They're not just resting on their laurels, they're looking ahead.
Good. And what about the shareholders? How are they doing? Are they benefiting from investing in Medtronic?
Shareholders are doing well, too. Medtronic returned $5.5 billion to them through dividends and share repurchases. That shows that they're committed to delivering value to their investors and sharing their success.
So it sounds like they're doing well financially, they're committed to innovation, and they're focused on shareholder value?
Exactly. They're doing a lot of things right, they have a solid track record, and they're thinking strategically about the future. It's clear that they're not just focused on the short term, they're playing the long game.
I think it's interesting how their financial success is connected to their focus on innovation and global health. It's like a positive feedback loop. Their financial strength allows them to invest in new technologies, and those technologies lead to better healthcare, which could lead to even more financial success.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. It's all connected.
All right, so we've explored their history, their innovative approach to healthcare, their partnerships, and their strong financial performance.
It's been a really interesting conversation.
It really has. What stands out to you as the most important thing we've learned from Medtronic's FY24 shareholder letter?
I think it's their transformation. They're not just a medical device company anymore. They're really becoming a leader in healthcare technology, shaping the future of healthcare through innovation, collaboration, and a real dedication to improving lives.
It's inspiring to see a company with such a long history continuing to push the boundaries and explore new possibilities.
Absolutely. It just shows you what human ingenuity can achieve and how businesses can have a positive.
Medtronic's FY24 shareholder letter. We've gained some valuable insights and had some thought-provoking discussions along the way.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure talking about this with you. Always enjoy these conversations.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it informative. And remember, this is just for informational purposes and not investment advice. We'll see you next time.